What's going on today? I'm going to show you how to multi-stream using OBS and the virtual camera plugin. Basically what we're going to be doing is if you already stream on Twitch or YouTube in a widescreen format, I'm going to show you how to use virtual camera to send that to TikTok Studio and get the most out of your live streams. And also be able to use replay buffer to get your clips without all the TikTok overlays and all of that, so you have clean clips when you're all said and done. Let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is download the Aitum Vertical plugin for OBS Studios. This is going to allow you to take a virtual camera and send that to TikTok Studio, because you're not going to be able to use your camera as two separate sources. This will also allow you to use their built-in replay buffer setting. Okay, so once you have Aitum's Vertical plugin installed, it's probably not going to look like this right off the bat, so you're going to have to go to Docs in your OBS, and then once you go to Docs, you can enable vertical sources, and vertical scenes. This is going to bring up these three here. It's going to bring up the vertical, it's going to bring up vertical scenes, and vertical sources. So first thing I do is I move my vertical canvas over here, and you're going to have to build all of these out. So I'm assuming you already have your Twitch and your YouTube built out like this. So mine's built out like this for Twitch and YouTube. So now we're basically going to copy all of these scenes and link them together so they work properly when you switch scenes. So first things I'm going to do is I'm going to take and make a vertical gameplay scene, which I already have made here. And how you do that is you hit add new scene, and I titled mine vertical scenes. And once you do that, you're gonna have a blank scene there. You're gonna have a blank scene. After that, you're gonna go in and add in all of your sources. First thing I do is add in my game. You go to plus here on sources and add game capture. Add game capture right here, click game, and it's going to pull the same thing from your original canvas. So once you resize, you can resize that over here. I like to resize mine about like this is laid out, so I have room for my camera and for my gameplay. Once I have it stretched to how I want it, I go back here to vertical sources on my right, and then I can click on game, and then right click over here, transform, and I center it horizontally so that it's perfectly lined up in the center. Then I'm going to add in my camera. Same thing here, you go to vertical sources and go to video capture device, and it's going to have your camera already from your other canvas. So you bring that in, get it resized. And here's a quick tip: if you got a frame, if you're using a frame or something over your camera, once you get it sized, you can click, if you're on Windows, you can click shift on your camera, then shift on your frame, and group those together and lock it. So once they're grouped together, you can move them around together and then lock it. Once you get it where you like it, you can lock it. After that, you're going to want to add in your gameplay audio. If you're not bringing it in through game capture, I like to do mine separately, so I bring mine in through application audio capture beta, and then I bring in gameplay audio, just link it to Battlefield 6 or whatever game you're playing. Add in your Discord, which if you're just streaming to TikTok, a lot of this doesn't matter if you do it the way I do, where it just captures the audio that your computer's hearing. All right, so after that, we're gonna want to turn on replay buffer. If you have this set up already, you can do it in the settings. If you don't, you just go to settings here, backtrack recording length. It's the same thing as replay buffer, it's just called backtrack in the Aitum plugin. I have mine set to 60 seconds, and I have it set to go into a folder. I have a hotkey set to Alt-1, which I've linked to my Stream Deck. So anytime that I want to get a replay buffer, or anytime I want to get a replay or anything like that, I just hit my clip it button and it automatically hits Alt-1. It's going to save it the last 60 seconds of my gameplay, so that I'm not getting the overlays in TikTok. I'm not saving it through TikTok, I'm saving it through OBS. All right, now I'm going to show you how to bring this canvas into TikTok Studio as a camera source. First thing you're going to do is turn on vertical virtual camera. After you turn on virtual camera, you can open up TikTok Studio, and it's not going to show up like this immediately. You're going to have to add in. You can see this is the same as my vertical canvas in OBS, but it's not going to look like this immediately. You're going to have to go on TikTok Studio. You're going to have to go to add source, and when you go to add source, you're going to add a camera, and then when you add this camera in, you're going to select OBS virtual camera, and once you do that, it's going to make it immediately the same as your vertical canvas in OBS. So from here, you can add your text, your overlays, your follower goals, any of that stuff, hit go live, and you're ready to go. So one more thing we need to do before we start streaming: if you have multiple scenes, like you have a vertical gameplay scene and then you have a chat scene like this right here, I have two separate scenes. We're going to link those two together. So in order to do that, I have a vertical scene in my vertical scenes, and then in my regular scenes, I have a gameplay scene. I want to link this vertical gameplay scene to the gameplay scene in my regular canvas. So I just right click on vertical gameplay, then I go to linked scenes and then click gameplay. So that one's now linked to the gameplay scene. And I do the same thing for my chat. When I right click on the chat vertical scene, and I go down to linked scenes and link it to the chat scene. So now if you have a Stream Deck or hotkeys or whatever it is, when you go from one scene to the other, they're now linked up together and they transition at the same time. Side note here, on the vertical canvas, if you're running the backtrack or replay buffer, you want to enable backtrack before you enable the vertical camera, because if you don't, it'll give you an error. See, I do it like that, it's fine. But if you do vertical camera first and then backtrack, you're gonna get an error sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes you'll get an error. So I've found to do backtrack on and then do the vertical virtual camera after that. Then back in OBS, all you have to do is hit start streaming and it'll go to whatever your 1920 by 1080 canvas is set to, or your horizontal canvas, whatever that's set to, whether it's YouTube, Twitch, that's ready to go. So you're now multi-streaming using TikTok Studio and OBS together. If you have backtrack set up, replay buffer, if you have any of that set up, you're able to get clean feeds here with no overlays, and you have clean TikToks ready to post way faster than you would if you had to download the whole stream or anything like that. So that's how you can send your stream to TikTok as well as Twitch and YouTube using OBS and TikTok Studio combined alongside the Aitum Vertical plugin. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to like, comment, follow, all of that stuff if you want to see more content like this. And if you want to see a breakdown of my settings, my stream settings, my recording settings, my backtrack or my replay buffer settings, drop a comment and let me know, and I'll make more content like that for you guys.